Today we dive into 3 crushing betrayals, one caught in the bedroom, one born from a hidden affair, and a secret love finally revealed. Brace yourself for raw truth and how each survivor found a way forward. I walked through the front door after a week-long quarantine, expecting my wife's smile. Instead, the hallway echoed with muffled breaths and the sound of my pajamas rustling. My heart stopped as I heard a soft apology, "Sorry dude," coming from the bathroom. My wife stood there, frozen, her eyes wide with guilt. The man she had been texting for months was hiding behind the shower curtain, his body exposed and trembling. In that instant, every memory of our perfect marriage cracked like glass. We had been together for 9 years, building a life that felt unshakable. We shared a small apartment, celebrated my late father's birthday together, and talked about future plans like buying a house. Friends described us as the couple who never fought, and I genuinely believed we were each other's biggest supporters. Our daily routines, morning coffee, late-night movie marathons, felt like a quiet promise that we would always be there. That sense of security made the betrayal cut even deeper when it finally surfaced. A few weeks before the incident, my wife started coming home later, often citing urgent work deadlines. Her phone was always on silent, and she would glance at it anxiously before locking the screen. I found receipts for a restaurant I never visited, and her laughter sounded different during video calls. She also began deleting messages after reading them, a habit I never had. I brushed these clues aside, convincing myself that stress and pandemic fatigue were to blame, never suspecting a hidden lover was already in our home. The truth slammed into me when I opened the bathroom door and saw the man in my wife's underwear, half naked, clutching a towel. Their eyes met mine, and both froze. My wife whispered a trembling "I'm sorry," while the man muttered another apology before scrambling for his clothes. The shock left me breathless, my mind racing between anger, disbelief, and a hollow numbness. I felt my world tilt, the walls of the house closing in as the reality of the betrayal became undeniably real. I left the house that night, staying with a friend while I processed the pain. Therapy helped me untangle grief from rage, and I eventually filed for divorce, reclaiming my independence. My ex-wife apologized repeatedly, but I chose to focus on rebuilding my life, finding a new job, moving into a small studio, and reconnecting with old hobbies. Months later, I visited the apartment empty, feeling a quiet sense of closure. I learned that my worth isn't defined by another's betrayal, and I now walk forward with strength. Now we shift to a son who discovers he is the product of a secret affair that shatters his family's foundation. When my dad called me to the kitchen, his voice trembled as he said, "Your mother had an affair 18 years ago, and you're the result." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. He then announced he would no longer fund my college, the same support his other children received. I stared at the coffee mug, feeling my world crumble. The father I trusted was now a stranger, and the mother I loved seemed to hide a lifelong secret. The house felt suddenly hostile and cold. My family had always seemed picture-perfect. Dad, an engineer, taught me how to drive, helped with math, and took me fishing on weekends. Mom was supportive, never mentioning any past dramas. My siblings went to the same college with Dad's full financial backing, and we all shared inside jokes at family gatherings. I grew up believing I was his biological son, proud of the name he gave me and the stories he told about my heritage. This unshakable bond made the revelation feel like a betrayal of identity. There were tiny clues I missed, Dad's occasional distant stare when I asked about my birth, Mom's vague answers about family history, and a photo album where I never appeared in older family vacations. I also noticed that my siblings never spoke about the possibility of a stepbrother. When I asked casually about my mother's past, she brushed it off, saying it was nothing to worry about. Those subtle signs felt insignificant at the time, but they now form a painful puzzle of hidden truth. The final piece fell into place when my dad handed me a stack of old letters and a faded newspaper clipping about a scandal involving my mother's former boyfriend. The article confirmed the affair, and the dates matched my birth. He then calmly said he would not pay for my college, leaving me stunned on the kitchen floor. The room spun, and I felt a wave of abandonment, shame, and rage. All the love I thought I knew turned into a stark realization that my very existence was built on secrecy. I sought financial aid at the university, applied for scholarships, and took a part-time job to cover tuition. Therapy helped me process the identity crisis and rebuild self-worth independent of my parents' decisions. My sister stood by me, offering emotional support and a place to stay. Over time, I forged a new path, focusing on my studies and personal growth. I now see this betrayal as a catalyst that forced me to become resilient, self-reliant, and determined to define my own future. Finally, we explore a best friend love that blossomed from a secret request to become a sperm donor, turning friendship into something deeper. My best friend asked me to be her sperm donor for a surrogate, never hinting at the feelings she'd concealed for years. When I finally confessed my own love for her, her face went white, then burst into tears of laughter and sobs. She admitted she'd felt the same, fearing our friendship would crumble. In that vulnerable moment, the weight of unspoken love lifted, and we both realized we'd been dancing around the truth for over a decade, terrified of ruining what we cherished most. We had been inseparable since college, meeting every Saturday for brunch and sharing Sunday yoga sessions. Our friendship survived relocations, career changes, and countless late-night heart-to-heart talks. Everyone assumed we were just platonic, and we both used that perception as a shield. We celebrated each other's successes, comforted one another through breakups, and never once questioned the depth of our bond, until the surrogacy conversation forced us to confront the love we'd suppressed for years. I noticed subtle gestures, the way she lingered a little longer during hugs, how she'd text me at odd hours just to hear my voice, and the jealousy she felt when I mentioned other women. She'd often cancel plans with other friends to spend time with me, and we both shared an uncanny comfort in silence. Yet we both dismissed these clues as mere friendship, fearing the unknown. The surrogacy request acted like a mirror, reflecting the emotions we'd hidden behind jokes and casual chats. The turning point arrived during a Saturday brunch walk after yoga. I confessed my love, trembling, while she stared at the pavement, then burst into uncontrollable laughter mixed with sobs. She revealed she'd loved me too, but the fear of losing our friendship had kept her silent. Our tears blended, and we both realized the secret we'd guarded for 12 years was a shared truth, not a betrayal. The revelation felt like a storm clearing, leaving a raw, honest sky above us. We decided to take things slow, focusing on building a romantic foundation while honoring our decade-long friendship. We're now planning a future together, hopeful about having a child when the time feels right. The honesty that finally emerged gave us both relief and a renewed sense of purpose. We've learned that vulnerability can deepen love rather than destroy it. Today, we walk hand in hand, grateful that the secret we feared would end us instead became the catalyst for a brighter, shared future. Betrayal cuts deep, but each of these survivors shows that truth, even when painful, can spark resilience and new beginnings. What would you have done in their shoes? Drop your thoughts below.